All right, our next demo before our break is another awesome game changer from AXA Equitable, an insurance company that, or AXA Equitable, that most of you have, of course, heard of. And I want to bring up SVP Connie OBrien.
The human hook. Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really glad to be here. Who could think that a sleepy little insurance company would have something to say about gamification? When I started to think about what it was that I was going to speak about, and then I sent my presentation in to be compliance approved because I'm in a highly regulated industry, right? Life insurance and annuities. This is what I got back. And I thought, wait a minute, I'm just going to take this out and they won't know, but I always get into trouble. So I thought, actually, this is part of our challenge. In a highly regulated industry, how do you use creativity to work around or work with the regulation in order to make it interesting to understand more about life insurance and annuities? And so I thought, this is part of our challenge, so I thought I would share that with you. So when you think about life insurance, people don't jump out of bed in the morning and think, I'm going to buy life insurance today. I mean, maybe you have a life event like having a child, or you buy a house or something that does it. But it's not fun like buying a sports car where you get to sit in the soft, buttery leather seats and you get to smell the new leather smell. It's life insurance, and it's something that you have an interaction with, and then you put it in a drawer. Maybe you have another need down the road, but it's not something that you interact with, you get in and out of every day. So we were thinking about all of the reasons why someone would need life insurance, and we knew that coverage for young families was at an all-time low, and one of our industry partners called LIMRA told us that there were roughly 37 million households who either didn't have or were underinsured, and these are households with young families. We don't think about the fact that, mom or dad might stay home, mom or dad has a terrible accident and is either disabled or dies, God forbid. You have to replace that cost. Or maybe dad or mom goes out to work and something happens, and there's that income that has to be replaced. So there's lots of reasons why young families need to make sure that they're covered. And we knew that we needed to look at this target market differently. And so, oops, where did we go? Anyway, we knew we had to look at this target market differently. So we started to talk about how gamification could be part of the opportunity. As we were looking at that, is that what the problem? Sorry. As we were looking at that, we started talking to our field advisors, who told us that stand in front of it. Anyway, our field advisors told us that there were three things that if we were going to do a game, we needed to make sure that we were educating people on. The first was you had to understand your choices about permanent life insurance and as well as short-term life insurance or term insurance. The second is that the choices that you make in your life insurance policy today could impact your family's future. And the third was that permanent life insurance offers cash value, which you can use to trigger things in the future for emergencies. So as we were looking at that, we thought, okay, let's take a step back, think about what gamification could do to help us in educating our customers. So let's just take a quick look.
Wondering how to prepare for your financial future in uncertain times? Play Pass It On and find out the fun way. Pass It On is a 3D online game of chance where you're encouraged to think about some of life's important choices and the potential benefits of planning ahead. Not only can you learn about life insurance while playing, but you can also have a chance to win a $25,000 or $15,000 cash prize. Take the challenge and lead generations across the country, from New York City to St. Louis to New Orleans to Mount Rushmore and finally San Francisco. Your participation can help others, as AXA Equitable and the AXA Foundation have selected the American Red Cross, CARE, and Scholarship America to receive a grant based on votes cast by Pass It On players during the campaign. The more you play, the more votes they can earn. Life is uncertain, but good choices will keep you in the game. Play, learn, and enter to win at www.axa-equitablepassit-on.com. Upon entering Pass It On, be sure to click on the important information and official sweepstakes rules links for information and disclosures about the game and sweepstakes.
So you can see the challenges are very real and they're apparent to everybody. So we're being as transparent as we can be around all of the regulation, which is, by the way, designed to help the end customer. But I just want to take a second and tell you what happened the other day at home. So I was at home and I was telling my son, Charlie, who's 10, that I was going to speak on a conference on gamification. And he said, oh, we talked about the game. And I didn't really go into what all of the tactics were, but he loves to play Minecraft and things like that. And we were talking about it, and he said, I want to play the game. I want to get you on the leaderboard. So I said, okay. So he set about playing the game. We're not on the leaderboard. But anyway, we kept going on the game. And he turned to me and he said, you know, Mom, I bought a silver shield and a gold shield. And I said, okay. And he said, but the silver shield, which is term insurance, went away after 3 turns, but the gold shield stayed. So, Mom, do we have shields? And I looked at him and I said, yep, we have shields. And he said, which one? I said, we have a little bit of the silver and a lot of the gold. And he said, okay. And he went back and started playing. So it's that moment, right? It's those teachable moments that we're trying to capture in the game itself. Oops.
Wondering how to...
There we go. Okay, so after Charlie, let me just say that to sum it up, we really wanted to make it personal. So we used custom avatars. We created a metaphor for life insurance with the shields, which I just walked through, silver for term, gold for permanent. And through the game, we showed what this would mean to you. So there was my teachable moment with Charlie where I was able to say what the silver and the term meant to us as a family. And through the role of the beneficiary and passing it on, right, that idea, the name of the game, we're able to show this is what is left. And instead of the player dying, that happens so often in a game, the player becomes, the person who left the policy goes away, but the beneficiary becomes the main player and plays through with the assets that are left from the beneficent. So if we just talk about the gold shield for a minute, which again represented lots of opportunities for teachable moments, the gold shield lets you get these stars on the board, you'll see, and the stars represent cash accumulation, so that when you have a family emergency or there's something you want to plan for or you're adding more children to your family, you begin to see how the cash value benefit in a permanent life insurance policy helps. But we knew it wasn't enough to just build it. You know, gamification was terrific, but we needed to make sure that this worked. So some of the things that we did was we encourage play through the sweepstakes. We have a share functionality so that we can hopefully extend our reach, as well as we had a communication plan that's very focused and targeted on niche bloggers, like in the family and the finance area, and in fact, as well as some of the media analysts. So in fact, we were in the New York Times this past week, which was really exciting, and we saw a lot of uplift in our gameplay. We also have a charitable overlay, which we think is really important. We have the AXA Foundation, where our focus is generally on scholarships. We give a lot of money away. And so after completing all 5 levels, you get the opportunity for a vote. And the charity, one of 3 charities at the end, whoever has the most votes will get the largest grant. You should all have a card in your bag, hopefully, with the URL, axaequitablepassit-on.com, where you can win you can play and hopefully win your chance to get $25,000 or maybe $15,000. So I hope you all play. And I also just want to say we really appreciate feedback. This is really new territory for our company. And so any kind of feedback you could give would be terrific, so you can reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. As well as, I just want to say thank you to our partner, Brien Games, Jim Wexler from Brien Games. They were terrific partners, really working with us to walk us through it. And the person who really should be up here to give this presentation is a woman named Cora Hall, who's in the audience, and this was her brainchild. So thank you for your time and listening to our story.